morning and happy Sunday to you, listener and viewer. Just want to take this opportunity to continue to bring more light into matters that are lingering in the dark, yet because of our emotional state of being, we fail to see. It is important to remember that behind every action, there will be a reaction. It's either equal or greater. So with everything that's going on, it's clearly a reaction and a response to a few things, not just one, and we understand that. However, do not lose sight of the real depths of this matter. This is deeper than the perceiving eye can see. And I say this: for those who believe, you will understand. And for those who don't, carry on. Carry on. But I will say this to those who believe: do not believe for one moment. See how that spins around? That this is the end of something that has always been and will continue to be. So as long as we set the plot and the precipice of the setting to be categorized, labeled, marginalized, brutalized, so as long as we keep setting the precipice, so as long as we keep setting the plot, this will continue to happen to us as it did to our elders, as it will to our children. So a lot of us perhaps can't really see the depths of this matter, and I'll give you a little bit of an insight. Think about the population rate at this present moment. And no, I'm not going down the route that they're trying to depopulate the earth and it's too overcrowded. That is not true whatsoever true. There are places on this planet that have not yet been occupied by human life. So to say that the earth is overpopulated, to a certain degree of the statement, but not to the extent that some of our minds think it is. Now, where do we stand, and how can we drive the change? And what point was I making with what I said? It's all about preservation. See, so as long as we keep, and I say we as the colored people, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter where you're from, what country you were born in, what flag you wave. The fact of the matter is that now we're going to see some real deal type segregation because of the following reason. Interracial relationships. Interracial relationships. So think for a moment and then process to understand that individuals who are labeled as colored are now going to be rejected at work in pursuing relationships with other nationalities, ethnicities that are not of color. Because that has always been the fear, that we outnumber a set people and that they will be disintegrated because of the interracial aspect and the nature that occurs. What happens in the process of bearing children? Once you take, I give myself as the example, a colored man and a lighter skinned woman, a man from the Dominican Republic by parents born in Puerto Rico of color, and a woman born in Tokyo, Japan, conceiving children. What skin tone are those children going to be? And if you like to find the answer to that question, then pop in right into my feed and you'll see my daughter. In about 3 months, I'll say give it 6, just to give him some time to flow the melanin. My son will also display the example which I just brought forth. Now, think for a moment, as I mentioned, the segregation aspect where now individuals of my age who are not of color are going to pass on the very issue which we're trying to address in this country. It's evident and clear, and are going to tell their children, do not engage or endeavor with those. Now, oh, you can't say that. Oh, why would someone even dare? Okay, so why are we still here after 400 plus years? Why are we still here and we see individuals who dislike us because of the color of our skin? Because that venom is passed on from lips to ears to heart to action to reaction. So it's evident. That is the evidence. It is right before our eyes. And that we, as a collective people, have given ample reasons and motive for this to take place, as I had mentioned. And I'll give you an inverted example, nonetheless, to drive the point. Say, and I'll use 2 different colors just for the example and remove the subjectiveness and drive on the objective of bringing clarity to mind. Say, the red people, and I literally mean the color red, not red bone, not indigenous people, not Indians. I mean the color red, R-E-D, as the color, is a people that cannibalizes each other, displays immoral behavior, does not know how to condone itself in public settings, constantly seeking attention, constantly displaying hostility, constantly falling in engagements and endeavors of ignorance, criminal activity. As a collective people, not all the red people do this. There's a percentage of the red people that have come into an understanding. However, the mass majority of the red people continue to inflict themselves, continue to oppress themselves within themselves, and continue to dismantle the future by first dismantling the covenant of home. Now, what has led the red people to this moment? The past. And why hasn't red people disengaged and pull their people or one another or each other out of this cycle of toxic behavior? because it is a choice to drive more on pleasures than it is on objective. It is easier to drive on fantasies than it is to drive a dream. Now you have blue, BLUE people. The blue people have decided to take a different approach to life. Blue people have decided to continue to pass on the best of themselves onto each generation. Blue people have decided to not engage or endeavor in the activities of the red people as a mass majority. However, there's a small percentage that have emulated and copied certain behaviors and activities as vice versa. But do you see the disparity between the percentage? Red people have more, blue people have the less in number of ill-related activity, and you can define that as you wish. And now we have an issue, because the red people have already given their generation a prime example of what not to be like, a prime example of who not to endeavor with. Now that leaves choice. Of course, blue people can engage red people, and of course, red people can engage blue people in whatever aspect of the word they wish. Where do I go with this? We're missing the point of what is going on underneath this movement, underneath this present moment. We were calling out for justice. Now, are we only going to call for justice for our own people? Are we only going to call justice when there's police brutality? Are we only going to call justice when it happens in our backyard? Or are we going to call justice for the events and occasions where this is happening, where injustice is taking place, and rise up as a collective one, as we've been doing, which is beautiful, poetic justice? However, not doing the same because the other events don't pertain to me in a particular way? Or are we going to find individuals who say, you know what? There are children who are suffering. There are women, men who have been incriminated, unrightfully. There have been people who have been, victims of rape, have not seen any justice. Kidnapping, have not found any justice. Murder, have not found any justice. And it doesn't matter the hand of who, what, where, and when. What matters is the point, right? We're talking about justice, right? Justice for all, right? That's what we are proclaiming, justice for all. Or is it just justice for us? And it's funny because now we're being treated like a charity. Now people of color are treated with pity. Sorry, excuse my language, because again, Spanish is beautiful and I speak it. So sometimes it gets in the way and wants to come out and manifest, especially when I speak fast, as you can see now. So think about this now. We're being treated as an endangered species at a zoo. People are gathering around, embracing us, hugging us, and saying that they feel our pain. However, they're not addressing it. See, I can relate to someone's pain when they stub their toe. I think I've stubbed my pinky toe in the last week at least 4 to 5 times. I think it's broken at this point. Now, my wife can empathize and say, wow, I know that hurts. I know that hurts. Because it's relative. Pain is relative. However, has she removed the course of objects, which I've stubbed my toe on over and over again? And have I taken the initiative to remove the objects? Clearly not, because it's happened more than 3 to 4 times. So this is not the first nor the last occurrence. It is a reoccurrence which will continue to happen. So as long as we think that we are the victims, so as long as we behave and carry ourselves as the victims, when we ourselves are victimizing and cannibalizing each other and have yet to come out of the bottom of the barrel in certain aspects of the community, when we talk about projects, when we talk about ghettos, but I want to live in my hood, but I want to keep, living my life this way. You have every right, because this is what this country is about. You choose and do what you wish, but then again, don't do it unto others. If you are, engaging in toxic and engaging in criminal-based behavior, do not get upset when you reap the reward of that action which you consciously chose to endeavor in, because you have an array of opportunity in this country to do as you wish to pull out the whole. Now, if you don't have an example to reference, I would advise you to go to the internet, go to a library, summon an individual of who has succeeded. We have relevant examples in our present day. The media is more available to us. We have technologies that we can utilize to create our own platforms. I mean, it's unlimited. The possibilities are unlimited, yet we fall upon the same stone over and over again. So today in the morning, or today sometime, or whenever you have the moment to, share this message. Share this message. Because it's only going to continue to happen. We're disobedient. And we have to start there with our obedience. Going back to our grandparents, aunts and uncles, sisters and brothers, cousins and in-laws, mother and father, and restoring relationships and building a more concrete foundation to then build upon a better future for the generations to come.